And now, Maine Web News.
Well, welcome to Maine, Dr.
Thank
Paul.
you. Nice to be here.
Thank you for coming. Excited. Maine Web News, we tend to try to cover things that the mainstream media don't cover. Oftentimes we use footage as you because you're one of the only politicians that kind of emphasizes things that are important, but other people don't emphasize it.
Good.
One of the things I saw out there today that you said that really resonated with people is the idea that a lot of the bills that come through Congress, as you've seen in 30 years, are named one thing, but they do the exact opposite of what you would think based on the name. So I want to talk about a couple of those things. Can you tell us why you are against the NDAA?
Well, mainly there's some money in there is defense money. A small portion of that I would vote for because I'm not against defense. But too much of it is military money, fighting wars that we shouldn't be fighting and doing the things that I don't think we're authorized. But the biggest controversy on NDAA was the provision that legalized the arrest of American citizens by the military, which essentially repealed posse comitatus, where we weren't supposed to have martial law. It's essentially martial law, but you know, just arresting the military is one thing, but holding them in law, putting it in law, that even if they're a suspect, they're denied an attorney and can be held indefinitely. And most of the people, when they realize it, are agreeing with me. That is a bad piece of legislation.
Absolutely. So, you know, to defend us, they would have to possibly jail us without evidence. And
yeah, I mean, they've been abusive of the law. The CIA has done things over the years. You know, they were a participant of overthrowing the Shah, or they put in the Shah in Iran and overthrew Mossadegh in '53. The CIA was involved in Diem in Vietnam. So we've been involved, but they knew it was wrong and they kept it secret. Now it's been codified. That's why I think it's so dangerous. We should not be complacent about that.
John F. Kennedy was a very harsh critic of the CIA, probably more so than any other president. And you have a lot of the same criticisms. I know I have a lot of Democrats that are, you know, Ron Paul supporters. You remind them a lot of JFK, even though you're a Republican. Is he someone that you are inspired by?
In many ways, especially because he was an independent-minded person. He identified with young people, and I like that. But even today, this morning, we had an earlier rally. Several they come up and whispered because they figure everybody around them is a Republican and said, I'm a Democrat, you know, and I said, good, because I had just emphasized the whole idea that the Constitution, the freedom issue, does bring people together. And that's why it's coalition building. People say, well, how are you going to get along with people? Are you going to compromise your views? I say no, but if you understand the views, it will bring factions together. Civil libertarians, people who are against the war, people who believe in free markets. Why can't we all come together?
Right. The other thing I wanted to mention was the Patriot Act. You know, a lot kind of passed. It was, you know, put on an unsuspecting and kind of traumatized nation at the time that it passed. And a lot of people have forgotten about it, but you always bring that up. Why is that so important that you keep that in people's awareness?
Well, I frequently made mention in my speeches that if they had called it repeal the Fourth Amendment Act, nobody would have voted for it. But they have trouble voting against something called the Patriot Act. No, I think it's a very bad piece of legislation. And under the duress of 9/11, too many people were willing to give up their freedoms for their safety. And I emphasize the point that it's not necessary. Of course, we were warned if you do that, you're going to end up with neither your freedoms nor your rights.
So you have a good feeling about winning the Maine caucuses?
Yeah, I do. I don't make any rash promises, but other candidates aren't campaigning here. The reception has been fantastic. Our organization is good. And I think I'm very impressed with the number of people that really know and understand what I've been talking about. You know, the whole issue of doing less overseas and having sound money, economic freedom. So, yeah, I'm very encouraged. And I think it's quite possible that we could win. That would give us a real boost.
Great. Well, thank you very much for coming to Maine. I
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.